Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. Now the term bot dump flipping gets kind of tossed around a bit. Now essentially what some people think is in the middle of the night or during off-peak hours, bots will unload their resource items they've been collecting during the day. Now I think the reasoning here is that they're less likely to get banned as there will be less moderation during off-peak hours, which might be true. Now I haven't really tested this extensively. I'm not even really sure if it exists. A really easy explanation could be, one is you're just leaving your offers in overnight so they have a higher chance of completing just because it's been a solid amount of time. Or two, during off-peak hours, prices tend to fluctuate naturally, which then allows some of your lowball offers to actually go through. Either way, I'm going to test this with a few heavily botted items. We're going to leave it in overnight and we'll see what the results are. Okay, so we just hopped over to GE Tracker. We're just going to look up a few different items here. Okay, to begin with here, we're looking at the magic log. If we look at the day graph, it's more of just a slight downward trend. Can't really see any natural up and down so much. However, right now it seems pretty low for the week anyway. And finding little dips like this can be very powerful because you're kind of hedging your bets a bit. It's already around 30 GP lower than it naturally is, so we have a much higher chance of making profit off of this item. So right now it's showing 1088. Let's reduce that by another 20 GP. And see if it actually comes in overnight. Let's try 1065 and we'll do a full buy-in limit's worth. Keep in mind to have exactly 150 mil to start with here, and we'll put the offer in for now. Okay, the next item I'm looking at here is the raw monkfish, and it's pretty flat across the last 24 hours. It goes up and down a little bit, but at its lowest point it was 387 and at its highest point it was 400. So let's try putting it in for 380, and we'll do double the buy-in limit just because it's kind of a cheap item. We'll do 26,000 and that'll be about 10 mil. Just having a look at the player accounts right now, we're at about 111,000, which is a peak player account for the day. Today is Thursday, so it's not one of the most popular days to play, but we're buying it around peak hours. Okay, let's try raw shark. Raw shark are so cheap right now, just around 700. A really easy way to do this is just look at the lowest point that the item has been at during the last 24 hours, and then reduce it by another 10 or 20 GP. So we're gonna do it for 684, and then we'll maybe put it down to 670. Okay, right now it's showing 689, so let's put it in for 670. And again, we'll do 15,000. Perfect. Okay, next up here, we're going to look at the green dragonhide. The lowest point was about 1540, and it's up to 1580 now. If we have a look at the week graph, and kind of all up and over the place. Let's try it for 1540. Okay, we'll put it in for 1540, and we'll do the full buy-in limit once again of 13,000, which will cost us around 20 mil. Okay, next up here, let's have a look at the red chinchompa. Very cheap for the month anyway. Okay, right now it's down to around 1,500. Let's reduce it down to like 1,475. And we also have the chance of it going back up to like 1,550 almost. As to 1,470. And we'll do double the buy-in limit, which will be about 20 mil. I'm going to do a slower item, just the regular chinchompa. It doesn't have nearly the same volume that the other chinchompas do. But it has a very big margin swing regardless. So it goes from 900 potentially up to 970. So we'll try buying them for around 900. Do 901 and we'll do 14,000 of them. I wouldn't recommend doing too many times the buy-in limit because it's very likely that it just drops down to that price point for maybe a couple hours, and at that point you'll hit the buy-in limit and then the other rest of the money will be wasted. It may not stay at that price for 4 hours plus. Okay, next up here, let's try the air orb. The air orb is already about 50 GP down over the day, so let's try buying it for around 1115. And we'll try doing 20,000 of the air orbs. And for the last item here, I'm going to do the black dragonhide because we need to spend the rest of our money. Right now it's at around 3150. Went all the way up to 3275, but at the beginning of the day is around 3140. Let's have a look at the week graph here. It's kind of going up. Let's try buying it for around 3120. And we'll just do the buy-in limit for that one, which will leave us with around 7 mil. None of the offers are coming through yet, which is to be expected. So anyway, we'll leave this overnight and we'll see what the results are when we wake up. Good morning, everybody. We are back and our flips are in. So we bought around half of them. We got all of the raw sharks and all of the green dragonhide. We got about half of our offer for about 4 of the items on average, and we didn't buy any magic logs. So let's start with the ones that we fully bought, which is the raw shark as well as the green dragonhide. So you can see we have no extra money coming along with this order, which is probably for the best. Now we're going to go ahead and price check the item normally just to see what we can sell it for. So we got the green dragonhide for 1540, and it looks like we can sell it for around 1570. We'll just have a quick look on GE Tracker just to kind of corroborate that. So we're selling it for 1569, and it looks like that's about right, so we'll sell it for that price. So we're selling it for 20 mil 385k, and we bought it for 20 mil and 20k. So we made about 360k off of the green dragonhide, which is pretty good. So interestingly, it seems like the raw shark came through recently, because we cannot check the margin. Okay, if we have a look on GE Tracker, we can probably sell it for 690, maybe even 695, which is actually a 25 GP margin. So we'll pop this in here for 695. So we sold it for 10 mil 425k, and we bought it for 10 mil and 50k, so that's about 375k on the raw shark, so quite good. Next up here, let's check the raw monkfish. So we ended up getting 19,609 of them. Okay, it looks like we're only getting about a 10 GP margin on the monkfish. If we have a look on GE Tracker, it seems like the price is going down regardless. So was it around 398, and now it's down to around 385. Still, we're going to make a 10 GP profit even with the price dropping, so that's pretty good. So we sold it for 7 mil 628k, and we bought it for 7 mil 451, so just a bit less than 200k in profit there. We'll just take out the offer for the magic logs because it did not come through at all. Unfortunately, we didn't get the right price on there. Next up, let's have a look at red chinchompas. We bought them for 1470, and it looks like we just bought that recently. On GE Tracker, it's showing as high as 1511 pretty much, which we could maybe sell it for. Let's try selling it for 1510, 1495, maybe a little bit closer. So we're selling it for 10 mil 465k, and we bought it for 10 mil 290, so about 250k on that. Next up here, we have the Irregular chinchompas, which we only bought 3,947 of. Now, right now the price check is at 932 GP, which is a 30 GP margin. Not too bad right there. However, on GE Tracker, it shows around at 950, which I think we might wait and try to sell it for that price. Maybe 949, which is a 50 GP margin, so quite good. So we'll put it in here for 949, which is, we're selling it for 3,746, and we bought it for 3,556, so about 200k there. So next up here, we bought 10,000 air orbs for 1,115, and it's price checking for 1,136. Now right now it looks like the price is decreasing a bit. Maybe we could sell it for 1,150, would be a pretty good margin, honestly. That does a 35 GP margin. Let's do 1,149, which means we will have sold it for 11 mil 491k, and we bought it for 11 mil 150k. And last up here, we only got 1,257 black D-hide, so not many of those. Wow, 32.14, that's a good margin. It's too bad we didn't buy any more of those. So we'll pop them in for 32.13. So we're going to sell it for 4 mil 41k, and we bought it for around a 120k profit off of just 1.2k black dragonhide is quite good. So we'll come back when these things have sold, and we'll see how much money we made. So we are back, and those items sold very quickly, probably within an hour. So overall, I would say this was very successful, considering I just left these offers in overnight and I wouldn't have been using that money anyway. I think this is actually totally worth it. Regardless of whether there is a bot dump in the middle of the night or not, the more I think about it, I think it's just more likely that during the off-peak hours, the margins are just larger, which tends to let your offers come through at those price points. Regardless, whatever you want to call it, overnight flipping, bot dump flipping, I think it's pretty effective. So let's go ahead and claim all of our offers here. I pretty much sold everything for the price I had in the last clip. Let's go ahead and claim everything here. Keep in mind we started at around 150 mil. Claim the chinchompas, claim the air orb, and here's a moment of truth. How much money did we make? Looks like over 1 mil overnight. Considering how low effort this is, that was actually very good. So overnight we made around 1.6 mil. And keep in mind, a lot of those items I didn't even sell for the max price I thought I could have. A lot of these had dropped down further. Because we put the offers in at such a low price, we countered the fact that the items naturally had decreased in price overnight, and we still made a profit on every single item of at least around 100k on each one. So overall, I think there's no reason not to do this unless you have your money invested elsewhere. Making 1.6 mil, 2 mil, 3 mil overnight is totally worth it in my books. And on top of that, the risk of this is extremely low. Worst case scenario, you don't buy the items at all. Best case scenario, you make a couple mil. And since the items are so in market, they sell very quickly in the morning, so you can get your money back pretty much right away and use it for active flipping during the day, or just use it however you want. Anyway guys, that is it for the video. One last thing I wanted to say here is I'm nearing 50,000 subscribers. I'm actually going to make a 50,000 subscriber video. I haven't made one of these in a year or more. I think the last one I made was at like 2,000 or 3,000 subscribers. I am hilariously behind on subscriber videos. Just an early thank you guys. I really never thought I would get this many subscribers. It's absolutely insane. You guys have made a huge mistake. I made my channel around 3 years ago now. I had no job at the time, and I was just in a car ride back from another city, and I was tossing around ideas on making a YouTube channel, and all of a sudden the very first video came to mind. Flipping on a free-to-play account in old school RuneScape, I thought that hadn't been done at the time, so I went ahead and made a video and went from there. I'm so eternally happy I picked RuneScape as the game I would be playing because it was a kind of a toss-up at the time. But I'm going to keep producing videos as long as there's people here to watch. But yeah, there will be an actual video tomorrow. Have we reached 10 minutes yet? Okay, anyway guys, jokes aside, thanks for watching and I will see you next time.